pandemic and new normal times for nursing students in Indonesia and the Philippines. Before we officially open this webinar, we would like to request everyone to please stand and pause for a while for the singing of the national anthem of Indonesia and Philippines, and to be followed by the doxology in Islam and Christian.
Doa sebelum belajar. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi zidni ilman warzuqni fahma. Artinya, ya Allah, tambahkanlah aku ilmu dan berikanlah aku rizki akan kepahaman.
take your seats. And now, let's hear the opening remarks from the Education and Culture Attaché of the Embassy of the Republic of Indonesia, Dr. Lili Nurlaili.
Thank you, Mbak Manet. Good morning. Selamat pagi, magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. My Honorable Dr. Elvira Urgel, Dean of Centro Escolar University. My Honorable Dr. Hanafi from Muhammadiyah and Bapak Sawiji dari Muhammadiyah, and all of the attending right now, participant is from Muhammadiyah, Bapak Yordan, Bapak Faiz, Pramudana Ihsan, and Pak Adam, Pak Bahrun. And all of the participants until right now is 56. Thanks to you all to attending this seminar or this webinar, international webinar. I'm already watching a lot of webinar international, but most of them just only using Indonesian language. But I don't understand why they are calling it webinar international, because I'm thinking if the webinar international using international language, and then from the May, June, and until today, until last July, I'm making webinar international using English language. And then not only Indonesian speaker, but together with Filipina speaker from the different field. For example, university, nursing, and then Ministry of Education, and then Commission Higher Education in here. That is making, that is the name of webinar international collaboration between Indonesia and then the, another country, I mean. And today is webinar series from the Monday, Tuesday until today is the 4th day, and then tomorrow is we are the last day. And I hope this webinar international is valuable and then important, not only for the Muhammadiyah in Indonesia and Philippines, but for all of the nursing student and lecture from Indonesia and Philippines. Thank you, and then I hope this seminar is already done, and then after finish, we are still have a discuss with Mom Elvira Urgel, because CEU a lot of activity for the nursing, and then I'm until now more than 100 MOU. I'm already sent to Mom Elvira Urgel from different university in Indonesia to making MOU with the CEU, Centro Escolar University. Thank you very much. Dengan mengucapkan bismillah, maka webinar hari keempat ini saya buka. Terima kasih, maraming salamat.
Thank you so much, Ibu Lili Nurlaili. And now our 4th day of webinar series is open. And we will proceed to the first keynote speaker today. The first keynote speaker we have here, the Education and Culture Attaché of the Embassy of the Republic of Indonesia, Ibu Lili Nurlaili.
Thank you, Mbak Manet. Okay, I want to presentation about creative and fun learning for nurses at the beginning of the new school year. Challenges of the world of nursing education. Facing digital technology for health workers will be an of those tasks. It is expected to start using and implementing this technology starting from yourself. One technology that can be adopted by doctors is telemedicine. Through this service, doctors can arrange consultation schedule with patients who may be unable to come or experience immobilization. In other words, nurses are also important in developing telenursing through the role of nursing higher education. Lecturers, students, and hospital staff must learn about big data analysis to facilitate them in understanding patient behavior pattern and staff mobility. Telenursing has been implemented in various countries: America, Greece, Israel, Japan, Italy, Denmark, the Netherlands, Norway, Jordan, India, and Malaysia. Long-distance nursing using information technology media or internet provide convenience for the community. Public or patient doesn't need to come to the hospital, doctor or nurse to get health services. The time needed for health services is also getting shorter. Patient can only be at home and make contact via the internet or via video conversation to get health information, care, and even treatment. Many other benefits when we use technology in remote nursing services, or we call that telenursing, include effective and efficient in terms of nursing costs. With minimal resource, it can increase in scope and range of nursing services without geographical boundaries, can reduce the number of visits and length of stay in hospital, can be utilized in the field of nursing education, distance learning model, and the development of health informatics-based nursing research. Telenursing can also be used in campuses with video conferencing, online learning, and multimedia distance learning. And then this is the point of the creativity for nurses. New idea and creativity are very important in nursing because they are the basis for caring for customer or client. Many things nurses must learn to be compatible, integrated, and work to adjust the client unique. Nurses have a standard approach to save nursing time, but the way nurses work differently from one another depending on their creativity. With the rapid development of digital technology, nursing education in the future must strengthen the element of care in basic humanitarian matters, such as training about taste, creative thinking, critical attitude, collaboration, knowing right and wrong, and no less important character that cannot be replaced by technology. Improve nurse competence, increasing opportunities to contribute in scientific activities at home and abroad, sharing scientific expertise among members, share substance through information technology, sharing experience with partners at abroad, involve various trainings, especially related to professional education training. Improvement in English for lecturers, join and active on research and publication foster program. Maybe I just want to give information to all of the Muhammadiyah lecturer and student. In Philippines, if they want to lecture for the nursing, after they are finished master degree 2 years, they're not to going to university again, but they must working in the hospital 2 years. That is the very experience, very valuable if they are going back to campus and teaching again. But I see in Indonesia, after they are finished learning master degree, and then they must coming back to the university to teaching. They don't have experience in the field, in the hospital. That is a very important thing the Muhammadiyah know about the rule in here in Philippines. Okay, that, I think that's enough. Thank you. Maraming salamat. Terima kasih.
Thank you so much, Ibu Lili Nurlaili. And now we will proceed to our next speaker. We have here, he is the director for the graduate school in the Muhammadiyah University of Jember, Dr. Hanafi, M.Pd. So, Bapak, you may start your presentation.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Honorable Dr. Lili, Dr. Elvira Urgel, Mr. Sawiji, hello, Mr. Sawiji, and also Manete Gonzalez, and other participants that I cannot say one by one. Okay, I will share my screen. Wait. Related to our discussion today, I'll speak about the implementations of online learning in nursing study program in Muhammadiyah University of Jember. This based on the experience related to what we will do today. Before that, I want to give information to you about maybe some person do not know which one is Jember. When you see this one is Indonesia, of course this is Java Island, and the red one is Java. This is Java, and then this one, Jember is here. I think you can imagine which is the positions of Jember. This is Kabupaten Jember. It is the east part of East Jawa Timur. Okay. I think you need to know that the condition of today in Jember is like this. The positive COVID is only 216. This is the position that I get yesterday. Okay, this is only this one. There are 216, and I hope everything will be okay. But don't worry, there are some green area in Jember like this. This is my introduction. And I'll speak about this. The background of this one, I mean, related to the nursing teaching learning process in Jember, the condition in the world today require different treatment in teaching learning process. Of course, in university, learning must be done in unusual approach and breakthrough in order to adapt to current world condition where there is a COVID-19. In nursing study program, there are a number of steps that can be taken to success in teaching programs that are in accordance with the current condition. In this case, the following: the information of teaching learning process in nursing study program at University of Muhammadiyah Jember. Maybe we can take advantage of this experience. Remember, the purpose of doing teaching learning process that is different from usual is the first, to prevent or reduce the spread of protect students, lecturers, and education personnel from the danger of COVID. As we just see that the condition of Jember is still dangerous related to the COVID, and provide guidelines for the delivery education and teaching in COVID-19 pandemic emergency situation. And the third is ensuring that the education and teaching process take place flexibly by focusing and predetermined learning outcome. It is what we want to know, what we want to do so that everything runs well. And then you can see here, academic process and teaching process, academic stage. As usual, because of the pandemic, the process of learning is done at home using the network online. Learning method chosen by taking into account of the learning outcome that have been determined. The implementation of online learning is urged not to burden students in terms of time and also internet quota. Like usually happen is usually the student have a complaint about it make a burden very much, and of course related to the term of time. And remember, quota is very important in this case because it needs more money, while today, because of the COVID, some job cannot produce money. This is the problem. This is the example assistant activities during COVID. We do like this related to what we do in Jember University. The following. Saving an operational cost of providing education obtained during study from home, I used to help students such as online learning connection subsidies, logistical assistance, and help for those in need. In this case, Muhammadiyah University gives some quota related to internet quota so that the student can work well. Besides that, also some students are still in the campus, but it is very rare, and they can take the logistic like subsidies of quota freely. And research of the final project during this emergency period is set both method and schedule. Of course, the method and schedule is chosen with it is not dangerous, or sometimes it is not become burden by for the student, and adjusted to the status and condition of student research area. So research area play important role in this case. Related to the other profession, the other education, in this case in Indonesia there is pendidikan profesi nurse, this education after S1. It is also have a treatment almost the same as S1. The process of learning is also done from home by using internet, online, and the learning method chosen by observing the learning outcome that have been set at each stage. And of course, selected learning method can be in the form of case studies, discussion, bed teaching video, making health education media, clinical tutorial, scientific journal, and scientific journal presentation, and others. After the emergency period ends, the available time is used to achieve the learning target must be done by demonstration method and also skill testing in real case. And of course, we have to remember that study at home is not the only one related to pendidikan profesi nurse here, because we need the special quality of the outcome. And the implementation of learning, online learning, is urged not to burden students in terms of time and internet quota usage, the same as S1 program. Saving in operational costs of providing education obtained during study from home, I used to help students such as online and connection subsidies, logistical assistance, and help for those who in need. It is still the same as S1 program. The other program is also, students can also play a role as COVID-19 volunteers. They can join in Muhammadiyah. There is someone called MCCC, I mean the volunteer of COVID. If it is carried out for 1 month equivalent to 4 credit in professional course, that is close to the learning achievement. But usually it's constrained by parental consent. Some students who are interested to do that, but he is not recommended by the COVID filter because the parents do not allow that. Sometimes the parent is afraid that the son or the daughter have something bad related to COVID. This is the problem. Okay, this is about the implementation. Now about national competencies of the test. As we all know that in nursing program, there is something called UKOM, I mean ujian kompetensi. In competence test, still has to be done this year, and with the UKOM student actually with the previous 3 times a year. Actually 3 times a year. But because of the COVID, the condition causing a delay of UKOM from March to July 22, it is proposed government to do like this. The first, combine group 1 and group 2 examination by reopening registration so that the opportunity is reopened for graduated. So group 1 and group 2 for education is put in one situation because of condition now. And the accumulation of exam period will cause lack of computer-based test, CBT, facilities because of surge of participants. So it is recommended to do it with 4 consecutive exams by arranging each exam for 2 sessions with a gap of 1 week, and 2 more sessions, or there is a way to reorganize with approval of COVID Jember officer. And COVID Jember officer play important role to check whether the implementation of examination is safe or not safe. This is very important to do because of that. And then sometimes they do not pass the exam. So for retaker, they can still take the exam as usual, following the same rating system as the first taker student exit exam. And if they do not pass, they will be given the opportunity to continue as before. Maybe because of something wrong, they do not pass, of course. If the emergency condition is too long, it is suggested that the competency test be eliminated so that it doesn't add the burden of and disrupt graduation and provide certainty for employment opportunities. This is the policy that is taken by nursing program in Muhammadiyah University of Jember to face the condition of COVID-19. And what is retaker handling for not success student? There is agreement among KBRI, that is the organization of nurse, me and M.Pd, and priorities the principle of fairness. You know that sometimes the retaker, they work, and sometimes they do not work outside the university, but they are regarded the same for the principle of fairness. And it is hoped that it get the low cost, process according to the standard, and can be reached, and we have to make a wise decision to make them success also. And preparation for advanced level learning, it means for pendidikan profesi after S1. This is something that must be prepared before teaching learning process related to the COVID. Number 1, the ability of lecturers and students. This is related to learning guide and application system. It must be prepared well, because if only it is not okay, of course the condition and the result will not be good. And also development of method, especially learning media. Learning media must be more comprehensive, because if only offline it's easy to ask question and discuss and so on, but online it needs more serious, because sometimes it is difficult to understand each other. And of course, internet, laptop, and smartphone facilities. But actually, number 3, the most important thing is sometimes the signal is not so good in some part of student house and make difficult for them to understand. Like in Magelang yesterday, the report is that students study near the road and it is dangerous for them. Yeah, signal is something like this. And number 4, ensuring the readiness of students and supervisors. Preparation must be like this. And then other thing that must be prepared well is RPS or lesson plan, module, manual guide, and tool. If all has been planned well, of course, it is hoped that the learning and teaching process will be good with a good result of them. How about study at home? For the advanced program, learning activities carried in independent home, online, guided by supervisor, on instruction according to the RPS or lesson plan. Of course, it must be a very important thing. Students will continue to conduct interaction with the lecturer in structured manner in according to module and course learning schedule. Sometimes there is a coordination between student and learner and the teacher, but it must consider about the protocol of healthy related to COVID-19. And how about the clinical practice? Clinical practice program is carried out with a case study from lecturers, a case study in student, neighbors, and analysis case study, and the last is report writing. For the clinical assignment, this is case analysis, discussion, report writing, presentation, simulation, or video or other media making, and journal analysis. And for the examination, use practice online exam. This student case analysis, sometimes by assignment or literature, presentation, question and answer, demonstration, stage of nursing process. This is assessment of nursing action. And then the learning stage is like this. For the first time is prepare the application system, like usual, according to the institution, Zoom, Bandicam, Skype, Webex, depend on the agreement between institution and also the student. And then create classes, groups, and choose chairman. And then number 3, this is very important, attendance every day, check in, check out. Usually it is 2 minutes because usually related to online, the student are not okay related to the attendance. They just turn on the laptop and then go somewhere. It is something wrong, but we need to do like this. And pre-post conference, pre and post conference, achievement of competency assignment, worksheet, and monitoring sheet. Yeah, without monitoring sheet, we do not know how by the achievement of the student. And number 5, pre and post conference, achievement of competencies assignment, worksheet, and monitoring sheet. This is the learning stage that we have to do so that we have a good effect related to teaching learning process. And the 6th, this is a upload assignment. Sometimes daily, weekly, sometimes for final exam. Modify learning methods, sometimes problem-based learning, simulation video, and many other things. And number 7, student case study, analysis study, compilation of report discussion, implementation, case lecture, case group, and of the student. And the last is optimization of online consultation, discussion, and guided assignment. This is the step. And then number 9, practice exams. Of course, it is important. Oral presentation, case report, case analysis, portfolio, essay, and logbook. It must not be all done, but sometimes only oral and case report and case analysis and portfolio depend on what the lecturer or the advisor do. And then number 10, monitoring activities carried out every day by coordinator, supervisor. Of course, it related to report, assignment, competencies, and documentation activities. This is the step-by-step done by the process of teaching learning process in nursing university, in nursing program in Muhammadiyah University. The most important thing is student and the teacher or the lecturer safe from COVID. And the second, the quality of the student must not lower than before COVID. This is what we have to always remember every time we do something related to teaching learning process. And this one, lecturer creativity determines achievement of student competence. This is the key. So whatever the SOP and whatever the rule and so on, but we strengthen here that the lecturer creativity is the most important thing. The lecturer discipline is the most important thing. And the lecturer, everything related to teaching learning process must be improved to make the student quality better and better. That's all about what is done in nursing university, in Muhammadiyah University in nursing program. I hope it can make a kind of experience for us, and of course, if it is critical or some question, I will ready to explain. I think it's enough from Muhammadiyah University. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, Bapak Hanafi. Terima kasih for your sharing regarding this new normal of the Universitas Muhammadiyah Jember. Thank you so much, Bapak. And we would like to inform our participants, if you have any questions or clarification, you may type it in the Q&A, and then later we will ask the speaker to answer your questions. Bapak, if you don't mind, I would like to ask, Jember, now, as you all know that Indonesia now have this zoning. So Jember is in what zone now, Bapak?
There are many zona, yeah. What you mean by zona is red, green, or yellow?
Yes, for the situation during this pandemic.
In general, is red, but some are green. Yeah, but in general, East Java is red because it is the highest victim for COVID in Indonesia.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you so much, Bapak, for the information. And now we will proceed to our next speaker. For the next speaker, we have here, she is the Dean of the College of Nursing of the Centro Escolar University, Dr. Elvira Urgel. Dean, you may start your presentation.
I'm Manet.
Yes, Dean, we will help you to operate your presentation.
Okay. Good morning. Let me go through the PowerPoint that I am presenting to you right now. Manet. PowerPoint, please.
In a while, Dean, we're having some technical problem here. Okay, here.
Okay. Creating learning in pandemic and new normal times for nursing students in the Philippines as well as in Indonesia. But in my presentation, I will talk about the Philippines itself. Now, let me define what is creating learning. First slide, please. Creating learning in pandemic. The first slide, Manet. Okay. Move another one. The first one. Okay. Creating learning in pandemic is highly adaptable space. So why do we have to look into this learning environment? Because we have to adapt to the space. We have to adapt, or being able to have flexibility has always been an important aspect to us to design our classroom teaching. Now, what is new normal times? Let me define what is the meaning of new normal times. This will play out. Many will depend in large part of where we are. So meaning to say, we have to consider our learners, ourselves also, in this new normal time. So let me begin with the next slide, please. In here, as it's shown in the presentation or the PowerPoint, the spread around the world of coronavirus is so heavy, so much so that it rebounds around the world as death really tops up to 600,000. So we should be aware of that. Next slide, please. Now, how did coronavirus started? We all know that it came from Wuhan. But how? But what is coronavirus? This is really a pandemic and is first and foremost a health crisis. Meaning to say that the crisis crystallized us policymakers, educators, that we are facing between closing our schools and keeping them open. The severe short-term disruption of families around the world, homeschooling is not only parents productive, but also to students' social life and learning is also disrupted. Next slide, please. COVID-19 will affect the adoption of digital learning. It is clear that the wheels of change have been set in motion and time is prioritized to learning. Next slide, please. Slide, please. Okay. Now, what are the impacts of COVID-19 on learning? There are so many. I would like to mention this and I would like to emphasize on this. In order to reduce the spread of this pandemic, most countries around the world have decided to
Aduh, bro. Putus. Sira. Dotnya aku. Dot. Pedot ya guys, suwi nah pedot iki. Iki lho. RTO. Kacau tuh. Boleh RTO. Aku pengen enggak direk kok. Nah, muter-muter ta. Aduh. Error bro, kena zero service. Aduh. Metu bro, aku bro. Meksiko ambil bro. Itu dewe. Di kapan di bro streaming saya? Streaming. Wah, ada siapa ya? Anu mati, pedot ya. Aduh. Malah pedot. Halo. Saya bro. Streaming aku pedot ya. Sabar sih ya. Ini yang Filipina, yang ini yang APS. Pedot anu dan sedan. Oke, aman.
This learning and teaching is when your student read your posted lecture or follow self-guided modules or access readings from a virtual library or view tape videos lecture or participate in exchanges through discussion boards or social media platforms. Let me share with you the advantage of this. The freedom and flexibility is given to our students in scheduling their sessions of learning. It is also allows them to give more thoughts or do more research on a discussion topic before they post their answers and to determine the study pace suited to them. Well, that's a good advantage to them. But let me share with you the disadvantage. It can be lonely experience for our students, lacking the stimulation from others. And since there are no prods from teacher, no watchful eye, so to speak, the student may fall behind schedule. In CEU, we are now applying the synchronous and asynchronous style of teaching. One day for synchronous, wherein we do not talk about the learning methods or learning modalities, but rather we check on the learning capacity of our students. What did they learn during the time that they were told to review the modules, read on the modules, try to study the videos, and so on. That is why ahead of time we were prepared. We prepared our faculty for module. We all came up with one department, which is the CEU LIPS, and in here all modules of particular courses are embedded. So once we take into the course offering, then the students should be able to view all these modules. One day for synchronous is only 1 to 1.5 hours. Then the 4 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, is all asynchronous type of learning. You wait, the teacher will wait for the student to prop up or come up in their emails or in their videos or in their or whatever platforms they want to use, Zoom, to discuss with the teacher those that concerns or those that they want clarifications. That is what asynchronous to us is. Now, let me go to the how did the Philippine Nursing School face this pandemic? Let me acknowledge our ADPCN, Association of Deans of the Colleges and Universities, came up with the best practices in meeting this flexible learning approach. Let me begin with, okay. We came up with a framework for flexible learning, a framework that was through the efforts initiative of our association with coordination from CHED Technical Committee for Nursing Education has come up with the best practices on alternative learning or flexible learning. Now, we also have the best practices on flexible learning alternatives. So we will go with this later. So we have one, alternative learning delivery modes, instructional materials, alternative teaching learning activities, and very important is the assessment and achieving instructional standards and faculty capability initiatives. Let me go to the next, please. Next slide, please. Okay. A framework for flexible and alternative learning is important to ensure that all important elements in implementing flexible and alternative learning are considered, made stronger, robust, and reduce problems right at the beginning of its implementation. So we have there in the slides how we have set our goals in meeting these elements in the implementation of our flexible learning. Next, please. Okay. Now, we talk about Assure model. Again, through the efforts of our association, through the technical panel, the Association of Nursing came up with this idea or with this model that is utilized in order to assess our learners. Next slide, please. Okay. A. When we talk about A, we analyze the learners and we plan for audience and their characteristics, like we consider their age, their sex, socioeconomic background, mental readiness, and learning styles. I would like also to mention that in this A, Assure model, we talk about the instructional design that we should strive to determine our learners' skills, knowledge, and attitude towards the learning before designing the instruction by creating a learner's profile. So meaning to say, what we do first is to look into our student's profile. Second, next, please. S is the statement of learning outcomes. Tutors are encouraged to consider the class of audience, their behaviors, and the type of degree they are studying for. I'd like to add to this that statements of what learner is expected to know, understand, and be able to demonstrate after a completion of process of learning must always be considered. Next, please. Another S is the selection of media, material, and faculty prepared. Select from the material pool or modify or create a new one. So let's review what we have on hand. Our handouts, PowerPoint presentation, cases for analysis, problems to be solved, worksheets, web links, or copies of journals. Wait. Selection of media and materials must also be considered a lot by our faculty. In this process, we know that we have to conduct training. We have to organize our materials so that our learners will be able to adapt willingly to our presentations. Now let's move to letter U. What is U? You utilize technology, media, and materials intended for online learning related to a particular nursing subject. So, what is LMS? LMS is Learning Management System. Preview the material and text the material or media or technology. Now, in here, we have to utilize technology now. Learn something new. Polish our skills. Browse our courses. Earn an online certificate. So there are many that are coming up right now. So let us take the chance of learning these webinars, Zoom meetings, so that we can be able to upgrade ourselves, learn new technologies, learn new materials that would be intended for our online presentation. Next. R. R is a model that requires learners' participation. How do we plan on how to engage the learners to the material being taught? How would we bring our learners in to harvest their views and advice? So therefore, it requires learners' participation. Student engagement in this model is very important because it gives rewards to student success. It also monitors them on their own progress. Also, it creates an open, accessible environment and help our students set achievable goals. So again, I would like to emphasize on the R model, which requires learners' participation, because in the previous slides that one negative impact is the passive passiveness of our students. So therefore, as teachers, we have to implement such measures that our learners would be participating in this online session. So again, let me repeat. To engage our student, we must reward our students' successes. Second, we have to monitor their own progress. Next, create an open, accessible environment, and let us help set achievable goals to our learners. Next, please. The E model. Evaluate the impact of the teaching on students' learning. How do we do this? Assessment of students' performance. 2. Provides feedback to reinforce knowledge. 3. Enhancement of rotation and transfer of ideas to ensure proper knowledge retention of students. And 4. Rubrics were created to assess the strengths and weaknesses of the students' presentation. In this model, letter E, evaluation is really very important. That is why in our modules, part of the module is the assessment weight. We have the pre-task and the post-task. We acknowledge this by creating a pre-task module to our students in the beginning of the presentation of your topic, and post-task to gain their knowledge, their assessment of the things that they have learned. This is also one way that we as teachers should create rubrics, should utilize rubrics, and so that we can be fair in grading our students, and that we can be able to have a fair giving of grades or giving opportunity to our students to learn. If we go back to what is OBE, outcomes-based learning, this is how we have to teach our students. We have to assess their capabilities on how they perform and give them the feedback or reinforce their knowledge, and then enhance whatever that is needed to be re-enhanced or to be enhanced to them so that they perfectly master the presentation or the skill. However, the rubrics is our part. We have to come up with a well-meaningful rubrics that would be fitting to what the skills and knowledge that we want them to gain. Next slide, please. So, to give you the overall model is called assure. We assure our learners and By doing this, we have analyzed our learners' capability,
Nah, menggunakan
we
coba,
have set
coba.
our
Assalamualaikum
objectives,
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
we have selected methods to print, materials, media in utilizing, and then we utilize this print, materials, media, so that when we require our learners' participation, we will be able to gauge, we will be able to assess their capabilities, and therefore go back if there is a need to revise, if there is a need to assess our learners' capability. Next, please. Now, the best practices. The best practices of nursing schools on flexible learning are so many. But let us just look at how in our nursing program this will be adaptable. Next slide, please. Okay. B.1 is alternative learning delivery modes. I have mentioned this a while ago that we have to look into by deciding on the mode of delivery of our alternative learning activities. A survey of the students' internet connectivity and access to a computer, laptop, tablet, cell phone are done to know what will be the appropriate learning approach we can do. Actually, we're doing a survey right now to our students who are enrolled in the summer program on how they are able to cope up with this modality. Each nursing school is encouraged to explore distance learning education approaches and relevant learning management system platforms that are accessible to all their students. The use of learning management system such as Google Classroom, Moodle, Canvas, Blackboard, and so many provide a comprehensive and centralized program for sharing learning materials, interactive communication between the faculty and student, and assessment of learning. This is how we have to look to our students' needs. And this is how we are going to prepare ourselves as teachers for this kind of delivery mode. Next, please. Next is the instructional material. A basic instructional tool to implement a specific learning plan is a course module that will be given to all students, either through offline or online module. Let me just share with you that, as I have said, before we came up with doing our modules, the university provided us a training of creating modules. That is why when we say modules, it's not only particular of one or two modules, but the entire development of the module in its courses. The students are provided with adequate learning resources, modules, as I have said, guides, handouts, prints or e-references, video clips, journals for concept learning before they are required to perform learning activities and submit requirements. So if I may go back to the asynchronous type, we as teachers should be able to provide all these learning resources to our students so that they can be able to learn and submit requirements on time. Next, please. Okay. Alternative teaching learning activities is a test higher order thinking skills such as system thinking, critical thinking, creative thinking of our students through application type of guide questions requirements that integrate relevant nursing and health-related concepts. Why do we need to do this? During our assessment, we have already assessed and made use of tools to assess our student. Now, when we do this, we have to consider the HATS, the higher order thinking skills of our student. We have also to consider their critical thinking skills. We have to consider how our students behave in such a time that when they are performing or considering the passing of the requirements, these relevant nursing and health-related concepts are all integrated in the alternative learning activities. A cluster of learning outcomes may be achieved in just one alternative learning activity, and adequate time is given for the students to complete. That is why we have more days for the asynchronous rather than the synchronous mode of learning. Next, please. Go back. Assessment. Okay. This is what I've been saying a while ago, that when we do assessment, students are well informed of the criteria or the tools for grading assessment and the weight of its learning activity to the overall grade when activities are introduced. Timely feedback of student performance is provided, preferably before the next alternative activity is presented. Online examinations are done. Yes, this is important. We still have to give exams. We still have to give online or publish the examinations through online. Some leniency is accommodated in the submission deadline of course requirement. Yes, because we also have to consider internet connectivity and so many problems with our students. Next, please. Achieving instructional standards is activities and clinical rotation activities are replaced by alternative learning activities which can achieve the learning outcome. We were informed by the national government that we might not be able to come up with the face-to-face or on-campus meetings of our students. So therefore, we disregard the clinical side, the clinical experience of our students in the hospital. Right now, what we are going to do in the first semester, which starts on August until December, is an off-campus or on-campus activities wherein all the related activities in the clinical side will be taken into the nursing arts laboratory. So this is now what we do in a different learning environment. Next slide, please. Okay, faculty capabilities initiative. I mentioned this a while ago that training is very important. The nursing dean has to organize relevant online faculty training to develop the competencies of our faculty. Then, relevant topics for faculty trainings may be flexible alternative learning, distance learning, blended learning, and so on. Next, please. Next slide, please. Okay. List of learning. So what are these types of learning that we can provide to our students when we do our activities for them? So next slide, please. To guide students to perform or practice nursing skills at home, and this can be done only for nursing skills that requires available resources at home. So as teachers, we have to consider these things. While our students is at home, what are the learning skills or practice or performance of doing a procedure that can be meant at the school home level? this can be also done in the nursing skills lab. That is why, as the dean of the college, I came up with the idea of doing an online hours in the related learning through skills, clinical and community. But I also have another remaining hours that can be done face-to-face or when on campus. So I divided the number of hours required for each course through related learning experience, and I make sure that there are modules being presented by our faculty so that when it is online hours for RLE, they can provide the modules to the student. And then when it's on campus, then we will also set another time, another hours that is remaining, and then we will have to set guidelines for face-to-face if once permitted. Next. Case-based learning. This one, we have to check on this because this is very appropriate in times of the learning mode that we have to, or teaching mode that we have to render to our students. And next, please. Guided skills practice, faculty prepared video clips of particular nursing procedure, or the faculty herself or himself can do videos of procedures. Voice clips, downloadable skills manual, procedure checklist are all important in guiding our students' skills performances. Next. Never stop learning because life never stop teaching. That is all. Good morning and terima kasih. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Dean Urgel, for your very informative presentation and also sharing us on how the Centro Escolar, especially the College of Nursing, handle this situation. Hopefully, with your strategies or ways, our other university will have some ideas as well. So, to our participants, if you have any questions, you may type it in the Q&A. Jika ada pertanyaan, silahkan bisa mengetik di bagian Q&A. Dan nanti kita akan menanyakan sama-sama setelah ketiga pembicara selesai memberikan paparannya. And now we will proceed to our next presenter. Our next presenter here is from a faculty member of nursing program from STIKES Muhammadiyah Gombong. To Bapak Sawiji, you may start your presentation.
Iki metu bro, ngerti bro. Untung langsung konangan.
Bapak, apakah Bapak ingin share sendiri atau bagaimana, Pak? Sorry, Bapak, I cannot hear you.
Is it something wrong?
Bapak, apakah mau dibantu untuk share screen atau bagaimana, Bapak?
Prepare the voice first.
Maaf, Pak, tidak ada suaranya.
What about now?
Yes,
Test, test. Can you hear?
Yes, sir.
This one is good, Pak Sawiji.
Okay. Sorry for the little bit problem. Would you please help me, Mbak Manet?
Yes, sure, Bapak. Okay.
Okay, thank you for giving a hand.
Aku sorry kok, bro.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Elvira,
If you can hear my voice, I please you to
Record.
raise your hand, please.
Oh, very good.
Oke.
lagi ngerti?
Thank you. Apa kabar Pak Hanafi?
Fine. Everything is okay.
Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, amma ba'd.
Sempat ngomong bro. Tinggal lu ngomong. Atau
It's
dulu.
a very happy day. I have a great opportunity to be together with you all. First of all, I would like to say my grateful the Honorable Ibu Dr. Lili, Mbak Manet, Dr. Urgel ya. Urgel, is it correct? The pronunciation?
Okay.
Urgel or
Okay.
Urgel?
Doesn't matter.
Okay. Yeah, I do hope that everyone still stay tuning on in this webinar because I am as the last speaker. The previous speakers talked about very interesting topic, and it's maybe I just summarize some of my slides just the same, but at least I can share my best practice or idea with you all. Okay. Yeah, my topic is educational innovation, and it's about creating learning change in the pandemic and new normal times for nursing students. I still remember it happened last March, in the middle of March this year. I still remember the date is 16th of March. My university is still active. We're still active with teaching, with consulting, with serving students at campus. But after that, because of pandemic, up to now, that's why we talk much about just like Ibu, Ma'am Urgel, Dr. Urgel talk about very interesting topic, a sure method, sure model, starting from analyzing learner until evaluation is very very good topic. Hanafi also talk about UCOM, the national exam for students, how to get registration number, and so on and so forth. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, talking about learning change, of course, it's about also regarding innovation. So what is the innovation? Many people talk about innovation. It is a multi-stage process that transforming ideas into products, services, or process, new and or improved in order to advance, compete, and differentiate themselves successfully in the market. What amazing, because Filipino nurses are very popular, Madam Urgel.
Thank
Very
you.
popular, famous. I heard that 90% of nurses, after they graduated from their university, they can easily get job overseas. It's very amazing. And
Thank you.
some of my alumni who already work overseas also talk much about that. Filipino
God bless.
nurses, most of them are leader, nurse
God
leader
bless.
in the medical ward, the surgical ward overseas, in the Middle East, Europe. Middle East is like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait, many Filipino nurses. So we would like to learn more about that with you.
Thank
Not
you. My
only through
pleasure.
this webinar, maybe after that we can continue our cooperation. Just before we start this webinar, some friends already talk with you. So
Okay.
the innovation, Madam Urgel talk about alternative learning, a sure model is very good. Innovation, maybe the key word of innovation is transform ideas into something new. It can be product, services, transform idea. So the words transform, I remember my kid. Yeah. Maybe your kids also. There is a movie very popular among children entitled Transformer. Yeah, Transformer. So Transformer, the name is very famous. Optimus, yeah, Optimus. My son that time asked me to go to the market and then take or buy a robot called Optimus because it can transform into car, yeah, into tools, into anything. It's like a new creatures, new creatures. It's very interesting among children. That's why innovation is transform idea into something new, something more interesting. So students in this context can get interested to study more and more with us. Next slide, please.
Bertanya apa, Prin?
Educational innovations through this picture,
Tanya apa, Dik?
yeah,
Apa ini?
little word,
Hasilnya
because
lihat
I believe that a picture can speak thousands
Yang
words.
Jember itu.
So the slide, there are two glasses on the left slide, on the left side, and the right slide. On the right picture. On the right picture, on the right glass, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 fish. There is a fish. One fish try hard to get out from the glass. He would like to enter after jumping and then get into another glass because maybe his glass already crowded. So meaning he try hard to get out from comfort zone into new world. So as a faculty members, lecturer, as a teacher, we should prepare students to participate actively in their work because now their world, meaning students' world, moreover after they graduate from university, there will be lots of problems, new shapes of future. Of course, they should be problem solver. Maybe something a little bit different in Indonesia and Philippines, because a bachelor degree in Indonesia, as I know, 5 years, and Philippines 4 years. Is that true, Madam Urgel?
Yes.
4 years, yeah.
Yes.
Little bit different, but all right. 4 years or 8 semester students study in Indonesian university. It is called academic year. Then it's designed as 70% for learning in the classroom and lab. The rest 30%. They go to the hospital, we send them in the hospital, and then they practice to get a clinical experience in the hospital. It is called academic year 4 years or 8 semester. And then after that, as Bapak Hanafi talked about in the previous speaker, after that they enter a professional nursing degree. It's a 1 year or 2 semesters, and then they should get UCOM or national exam to get the registration number, so they will have legality and registrations to work as a nurse in my country, in our country, Indonesia. Next, please. Okay, this slide showing that, yeah, now millennial generation, maybe all speakers, including me, a different generation with students. We call them millennial generations. So even before the pandemic era, students spend 3 hours a day online. A day. 3 hours a day online, 2.5 hours a day listening to music, meaning that they already very familiar with online system, with online gadget, with their gadgets. So it's like the picture, there is someone get lost in wasteland, in a desert. He is actually very thirsty. He need water, but he trusts. There is two instructions. To the left, there is internet. To the right, there is water. He actually need water, but he goes through to the left because he trusts more and more to the internet. So he asks everything to the internet. So internet now is become among students the knowledge resources. Maybe they trust more to the internet than to the faculty members, to the teachers themselves. Okay, next slide, please. It's a word from Stephen Heppel in 2011. So he said that more change will happen in education in the next 10 years. Next 10 years, more change happen than in the past 100. So it's a faster. 10 years later, next 10 years, it's called in 2011. So now 2020, more changes. Moreover, after pandemic era, so more changes. So as a faculty member, teachers, especially teaching nursing students, as we talk, as many speakers just now we heard together, more changes and already share with us about the solution. Okay, next slide. Next slide, please. In 2014, actually students 5.14 they spend to study in a physical classroom. They enter classroom to be their class and then they study in 2014. And then 3.55% already available, all classes online already available. And some classes online is 18.65%. So it is telling us that actually online system, alternative system, changes already happen, and we face this. We cannot run away from this. It's a fact. As a matter of fact, it already happened. So we should solve any problem appear or happen. Next, please. Classroom, different classroom, at school and home. Before pandemic, we spend more and more, almost maybe totally 100% students with a teacher, with their faculty member teachers, a consultant. They study at campus, at school. Sometimes teachers on the left side, the picture telling us that sometimes teacher divided students into some groups, and then a teacher coming to one group, and then they led another group to discuss something new or topic. They use any possible media to keep guiding students, to keep facilitating, encouraging them to study, to keep studying, to get useful topic. They give to them through possible media. So every single student will get the same attention
Dulu tuh
from
bro,
their
saya medal
teacher
itu upload bro. Karena
because
kan
of they study from home using their gadget.
Sisa 60
Okay, next please.
Tapi sing medun upload e. Petang ya.
I still remember
Ada?
the previous couple of days, but some that we remember. We'll talk about baby boomers. Baby boomers. They just born in the world and then try to study, try to learn something by writing. So they say, write me. So they study by writing something new. It's called baby boomers. It's a long, long time ago. And the next generation is called Generation X. X generation is simple, and then the previous one, they study by call me. Call me. I still remember when I still child, my house have a phone, connected to my neighbors by cable. By cable, so it's easier to call friends, to call neighbor, to call everyone by phone. Phone connected by cable, and the time is amazing. So it was amazing. We can call each other even though we cannot see someone, but we can call. It's called Generation X generation. And then the following generations, they already play email. So they know online, internet, and then they study email. Email is electronic mail. In 1981 up to 1994, that time is a very popular postman. Postman. Everyone can email, and then can send a letter. Postman take the letter, and then we can wait for some days, a week or 2 weeks, and then email replace the letter. Email replace the letter. Just need internet account or quota, so everyone can email friends, somebody that far away from him or her by using email. It's called Y generation. And then the fourth generation is called Z generation. 1995 up to 2005. They are called Z generations. They use much more using text me, a group chatting. I still remember in this year, it was a very popular like a YM, Yahoo Messenger. That time I tried to enter a room chat, and then suddenly I get in touch with American, Filipino, with Australian, okay, Z generations. Ended in 2005. So now, actually, we are now in 2020, meaning we are the fifth generations. The fifth generations.
Yeah.
So actually, you all and me are very lucky to be fifth generations, because we knew the previous generations write me, call me, email me, text me. Sometimes if we remember that, very funny. But now everything already inside of our gadget or of our smartphone, in our laptop, because of internet or online. Everything can be easier to be taken. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, it happened actually many times. Look at have a look at the picture. Two persons. Somebody is a student. Suddenly he knocked the door and then opened the door because his teacher asked him to get into his room just to say, sorry to get you out of school this early, son, because my computer, my laptop got trouble. Got trouble, yeah. It happened because it's a very different generations. The teacher, maybe the 3 or 4 generation, but students now, millennial generations. Just maybe I can share with you my experience as a parent. I have 5 children, 5 children. Pak Hanafi, how many? I have 5 children, and sometimes, I ask my kid to let me know how to use new application of Android. It's difficult to me to operate new application, but my last kid, she's in 4th year in primary school, can teach me and guide me how to use new application of Android. So they learn faster than me. Students actually learn and study everything faster, quicker than us. So please keep in mind that students are different generation with us. So give them as they like.
Dicampur-campuran tapi Masya Allah.
Okay, and don't be saying if we need a help from students, just stop. Just ask them to help, because they are smarter, faster learner, millennial generation. Okay, next slide, please. Yeah, blended learning already talked by many speakers. Ibu, Madam Urgel already talked also about this. Blended learning, many combination of many methods, many ways to study. We give to our students. We can do synchronous method or asynchronous, something from face to face in the classroom. We can directly face to face with our students among another. We can do a live online, the virtual classroom, webinar, coaching, until asynchronous collaboration in community, multimedia, with based learning, performance sport. Okay. The previous speaker already talked about that. Next, please.
Aduh, aku nunggu nyiken ya.
Yeah, product innovation. Even though it happened in entrepreneurship world maybe, but in education atmosphere we can compare. Long time ago, in the picture, a teacher teach student using blackboard. Maybe we all remember. Our teacher used a chalk and then write down something on the blackboard. But now this product already changed as innovation of blackboard. We can use and now we see LCD projector. So it's become easier. It's easier for teacher to use the gadget or laptop and then connect it to LCD projector. And then also hard copy. Many books now already changed or innovated into gadget, into tablet or something, and contain many pages. So a book with 1,000 pages, just we can get it in our Android, for example, in our gadget. So book, hard copy already replaced by soft copy. In our library already many books. Many books we can download, we can read, we can access. So it's paperless. So everything almost paperless. This called product innovation. And a long time ago, we still need a pen to write on the paper, and now we can write anything. Text in our books. Here's our product innovation. So everything, something new, millennial generation already use it. So we as a faculty member, teachers, university should face this and give students problem solving. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, now I am going to share with you about my university practice. During pandemic, we use e-learning like this, e-learning. So every students can access this electronic learning. On addition, they have access to the internet. So it's divided into each department. The single department already got like this. Next slide, please. Next slide. Yeah. The subject is keperawatan medical bedah. Is in English we can say medical surgical nursing. Medical surgical nursing. The students study medical surgical nursing through this e-learning. So faculty member can encourage them to open this access. At the time they agreed among each other, and then they can study together. It's like case management kasus, case management, divided into some weeks, week 1, week 2, second week, third week, 4, 5, 6 week, then bedside teaching. Bedside teaching is like if they go to the hospital and then take care of their patients, so they can teach their patients bedside teaching. Just like bedside teaching. Next slide, please. Tutorial clinical tutorial. It can be studied from e-learning also. They can study a case in a clinical setting. There is a scenario of case, and then they discuss together, and then based on nursing process, and then they find out the nursing diagnosis, and then they provide or prepare nursing interventions, implementation, and then they can evaluate the case. And then case reflections, they can reflect the case, whether it can be solved, the problem, how many problems can be solved, and then what are the rest. And then kajian klinik keislaman, because we are Muhammadiyah, so we provide students to study, to explore more about Islamic view of the case. For example, if the patients have difficulty to start prayer because of they are sick, so students can guide them, can together, can facilitate the patients how to do prayer during sickness time. Also case presentations and Escolar objective structures, okay, and also last exam we can do through e-learning, because at the last we give a score to the students based on not only mid-test and final test, but also some assignments. Yeah, through this tutorial clinic, case reflections, Islamic focus, case presentations, and so on and so forth. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, for example, is a case week 1 or the first week, they can study, they can discuss together. Okay, next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, we also, faculty member, we encourage every faculty member to prepare PowerPoint with audio and video, and then they must share the link to the students, so it's more interactive. And then some assignments also, they can upload, they can post in a YouTube channel, and we provide official YouTube channels, and they have to be subscriber, and now almost 3,000 subscribers.
Ini HP
Maybe some days it can be a business, yeah, because the YouTuber also can be some fun YouTuber, yeah. Okay, next please. No border anymore. The previous speaker already talked about that. Zoom is a very good idea, very good alternative applications, so everyone can get in touch.
kan khusus angel
No border anymore, no geographic boundaries, so we can talk wherever you can talk, you can get in touch, you can see your face. Yeah, it's very funny when I use the Zoom applications, and then students just attend my lecture, and then yeah, they still messy, still messy, and of course they should be well prepared, wearing uniform, at least it's they should be well prepared and available, and prepare themselves before entering the class, even though through Zoom applications. Okay, next please. Yeah, it's an example from to determine nursing students' clinical performance. Before pandemic, students they get learning subject in hospital, they get clinical experience, and after pandemic they just learn from home, study from home. So something different between the two methods. And nursing students generally, or they study with the teachers at least in 3 methods. They study in the classroom first, and then they study in the lab, nursing lab setting, and then the third one is they get experience in clinical setting. So classroom setting there is no problem, because many alternative something different method between the two learning changes that already taught and the previous speaker, nursing students generally, and the difficult one is how to facilitate our students to study in a laboratory setting. So what we do is we divided students into some groups, small group, and then it's just like shift, in a limited time. So it's called new protocol. We can do that in laboratory setting. But up to now, is unfortunately many hospitals are still waiting for the proper time to accept students to get clinical experience. And because taking care of patients cannot be replaced by seeing video only. We can share nursing procedures done by lecturers, by teachers, or students. They do themselves, and then we can see their video. But it's really different when they come to the patients. If they have a patient, and then they take care of the real patients. Very different. So the difficult one is we are still waiting for the proper time to send students to the hospital. My university, we have already our own hospital, Muhammadiyah Hospital. It contains 350 beds, and still in process. We will have 400 beds. Maybe someday, Madam Urgel can send your students after pandemic era, of course, to come to my university as an exchange student program. So your student will get fun clinical experience in my hospital. And this month, my hospital already open, but some wards. But the management of my hospital still afraid of opening chance for students to get clinical experience in emergency room in ER, because ER or emergency room is the first door for patients to come into the hospital. So, but medical ward, surgical ward, and mother ward already open, but of course the hospital management still limit the number of students. But thanks God it's already open, because the number of COVID patients already decreased. But of course students should attend obey the new protocol. Okay, next slide please. Next slide. Yeah, Skinner said any teacher who can be replaced by computer should be. So be aware that maybe someday students sometimes they don't care when a teacher teach them together with them, but they trust more to their laptop gadgets. They choose their gadgets rather than their teacher. Okay, so any teacher who can be replaced by computer should be. And it happens, right? So how teacher, how faculty member can be aware about this, and how to encourage students to keep getting in touch with us, engaging with us. So they need us to study together, to share ideas together. But they are millennial generation, so we are different generation. Just give them what they need, what they like to do. Okay, next slide. Next slide, please. Yeah, I think that's all my presentations. I hope everything is interesting for you. Thank you very much. That's all. Thank you. I give back to Mbak Maneta Gonzalez. Terima kasih. Maming selamat ya. And good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terima kasih Bapak Sawiji. Thank you so much Pak Sawiji for sharing your knowledge to all of us. And now we will proceed to our next part, which is the question and answer. As of now, we have some questions here, and please allow me to read these questions. First question we have here is from Mr. Muhammad Asad. Muhammad Asad, my question delivered to Dr. Hanafi. This question is addressed to Dr. Hanafi. What are the solutions for the students staying in the remote area with not any access to the internet? How to evaluate them? Because we know every student's back to their hometown during the pandemic.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. The problem of remote area students often happen in surrounding my university. Sometimes, although it is not always, but it is rarely happen. When I listen information from the student, they come to the friend house. We can get channel well. But of course, actually, it is national problem. Because in some area, in Jember, actually only 1, 2, 3, 4, not too many. But if it is not nursing student, of course there are too many problems, like junior, what is called PAUD in Indonesia. There is the teacher of PAUD and kindergarten. It's a very remote area. It's very difficult related to this. Sometimes I get information, they for special uploading something, they go until 10 kilometers to upload this one. Actually, it is the responsibility of government. But fortunately, related to this one, for the things that hidden in Muhammadiyah, Jember, it is not too far, sometimes 2 kilometers, sometimes 3 kilometers. Until as this one. But what can I do is giving a kind of money related to that. But we have no power to make a big channel because it is a government will do that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bapak. And now we have here another question. This question is addressed to Dean Elvira. The question is from Miss Oni Linda. How did you manage learning by laboratory-based and community-based? Is there a special for
Nggak
that?
apa Ibu ya?
Okay. The laboratory-based learning is done, but that is we divide it that there are hours for module presentation,
Sana lagi Bu.
and then we also have the on campus or
Eh,
face-to-face when
Pak
permitted.
Seri aja ya.
So in this
Ada linknya
time,
di tengah aja.
there has been a change of our modalities of teaching. Instead of one semester, we divided the semester
Kilo, tak kirimnya.
into 4 blocks. So each block contains 5 weeks. So
Nang
in
emailmu,
that
Bi?
week, there are only limited
Oh,
Apa
2
nang
to 3 courses.
komplit iki?
So in each block, there would be students are enrolled
Kilo,
in
komplit
that
kilo.
block for 2 to 3 courses or subject, and then move to the next block after the 5 weeks, and then so on. While what I did with nursing is we contain the first 3 and 3rd block for all the lectures, be it professional courses or GE courses, general education.
Lengkap
And
ini,
then
Kevi.
we leave the 4th block
Tak kirim iki lho.
solely for the RLE,
HP,
solely
email,
for the laboratory.
terus
This
telegram,
entails,
surat. Mana
meaning
itu?
to say that we will go
When the
with
telegram
some
aku
of
urus
our
dilanjutin dengan
related learning
klang-kling ke
experience that are
Lagi-
not
lagi ada satu
fully
baru,
online,
iya, nah.
but we will address this
Telegram.
in the 4th
Kan
block
kita
by
bisa
meeting
semua aja.
face to face.
Biar
So
sama
that's how we do
siapa
it.
grup neng di bawah.
Again,
Waduh neng grup ini. Kenangan.
I'm always thinking loud,
Sombongnya.
trying to see the
Aku kan pengguna
things
Telegram
that would
dalam.
happen in 5 or 6 months from
Konco-konco kan
now.
kemudian Telegram
But
pernah WhatsApp.
I'm still very positive that soon there will be
Mesti kamu
a
terlalu
small
publikasi.
portion,
Zoom-
little
Zoom
by
boleh di-
little,
Zoom boleh di-
students will now go back to
Mana
the
di-hack terus
school.
kira-kira salah.
What we need to do is
Langsung
come up with guidelines, rotation plans,
Tapi-
policy on how we will address this new norm. Our president in the university does not want to call
Tak
it
kira ini.
new normal, but improved
Main pegel
normal,
suaranya
meaning
tuh.
to say
Bingung sih dia
we
dulu.
will try to be consolidating our efforts and go with what is to be improved already in this time of pandemic. Okay?
Thank you so much, Dean.
Sa cabang.
Another question addressed to you, Dean.
Iya.
Miss Maria Eugenio. What would
Maksudnya
be
cabang,
digital
Muhammadiyah-Atdikbud.
platform or digital solution to use for the College of Nursing as an aid for the RLE? Any
Kamu
recommendation?
sudah mulai lapar.
Okay. There are a lot
Sabar
of
ya.
platforms that we all know, but I'm speaking for the university itself where I work, and this platform is more on Canvas. It's a platform that we consider looking at all modules, all learning modes should be included in that platform, so that when the student and when the faculty would be able to come up with all these modules in it, then the unit itself, the what I call as the teaching, learning, the department center will be able to monitor us, monitor our faculty if they are online, if they are able to present their modules readily. And then the monitoring aspect is there to us. And then what I'm saying is the canvas is so friendly. It's not too tedious, or because we are also a beginner, we would like to adopt the idea that everything that is suddenly has caught our attention should be more friendly in nature. So the canvas itself. But I understand there are so many platforms nowadays. During classes, we are not going to use, and we will not use Zoom or whatever modes, but we can do that during the asynchronous, when students will ask for concerns or clarification, but we encourage the use of our canvas so that we are also monitored, and at the same time, in the canvas itself, all the learning materials are already embedded in that LMS. But I suggest that you look into what is beneficial, and maybe because there is financial consideration on this, we should also look into how we can be adaptable to this learning management system. But I'm pretty sure there are a lot that offered to us right now.
Thank you so much, Dean. Do we have another question here from the participants? Do you have any questions? If you do, you may type it in the Q&A, or you may raise your hand, and some of the participants are now in the panel list. To ask a question directly, you may raise your hand, and we will let you express your question. Jika ada pertanyaan dari para peserta, kami persilahkan bisa diketikkan di bagian Q&A, atau ada beberapa peserta yang sudah kami jadikan panelis ingin menyampaikan pertanyaan secara tertulis. Kami persilahkan. Well, menunggu mungkin di other.
I have question.
Address this question is addressed to perhaps addressed to Lili. Ibu Lili, there's some questions on how they could have this memorandum of understanding with the universities in the Philippines.
Terima kasih Mbak Manet, tadi saya sudah jawab. Kalau mau membuat MOU karena masih satu grup di Muhammadiyah, silakan dibahas bersama dengan Muhammadiyah. Kemudian nanti Muhammadiyahnya atau Pak Adam yang koordinator bisa menghubungi saya. Kemudian Pak Urgel sebenarnya nggak ada masalah, nanti MOU-nya ditandatangan online. Sehingga kita tanda tangan dengan NPA atau topeng yang kemarin dilakukan terhadap Poltekkes Bali, dan kemudian juga Universitas Unggul dan Universitas Jember yang sudah kita lakukan kegiatan webinar dengan jarak 2 Flex ya. Dan itu bicaranya adalah topeng, kemudian mereka melakukan online tanda tangan. Nanti bisa saya tanya ke Pak Adam, ini yang kalau bisa nanti dimasukkan ke grup ataukah buat grup yang baru. Terima kasih.
Do we have another question? Jika ada, silakan raise hand. Bisa mengetikkan di bagian Q&A.
Ini di sini apa? Kalian ini
Excuse me, Miss. I have question for Dean.
Yes.
For the Dean. Yeah. My name Anis Prabowo from ITS PKU Muhammadiyah, Solo. I'm sorry, I'm from the car. I have question for Dean. Can you explain to me how you make your student practice nursing skill at home? That's all my question.
Thank you so much, Bapak.
Yeah.
Dean, the question is addressed to you. I'm sorry, Dean, you're still mute.
I'm sorry. Okay. Yes. How our students are doing it and would do it by this first semester is like while they are at home, we look at the home as still a classroom. So they have to behave. Their manners should be like that of in the classroom. So how do we impart our teaching to them? By looking at the modules, studying the modules through the video clips, through whatever materials, manuals, books, e-books that we provide in the library because we have a learning commons library. And therefore, what they have learned can be transformed or transcribed into requirements. Now, if we talk about skills or practice, then we can do that. But
Enggak, bro.
certainly,
Barang
I
lemot.
do discourage
Bapak
this
render
because
video no.
students
Di
this
render.
time
Rakan no
has
aku
really
tahu.
no in-depth approach or lecture demo of what really happened. So they just rely on the videos and the module. So what I would say is that there must be a face-to-face, rather not face-to-face, but the meeting should be virtual while the teacher is doing the procedure or while the students would do some procedures that are, let's say, taking vital signs of their parents, of their siblings. Then they video that. And then the teacher would then say what is good to that, and then say, and also considering the checklist that you give. These things are all, what I mean is, learning also that we improve on the modules that we do, we give our students, so that they would also be able to conduct themselves correctly when doing the procedures. But right now, because this is just so abrupt, we are doing it more on the videos that we take through YouTube or videos that procedures that are very light or very simple. But all the other procedures, I guess, that must be done in the nursing arts laboratory. When the time is permitted, then we will do that. That is how we will enhance their skills, ability.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for your explanation.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions?
Yeah. Actually, I've got one question. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I'm addressing my question to Pak Dr. Hanafi. If it is possible, or if you have time also, Ibu Dr. Elvira could answer mine. Dealing with today's pandemic situation, particularly in my country, let's say Indonesia, to assess the students looks like a little harder, more difficult than the face-to-face meetings. What do you say? I mean, what do you suggest me as teacher how to assess students during online pandemic situations, meaning online teaching and learning? Yeah, actually, I'm inviting Pak Dr. Hanafi. If it is possible, Ibu Dr. Elvira could also have more additional answer for me. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. I will answer the question related to this one. You know that the condition now is like this. In my feeling, teaching using online is actually a little ineffective. That's why I have a consideration that to teach students, to evaluate students for knowledge I mean, we can do online. But for practical application, of course, I feel best to use offline. Because, for example, we are curing someone and treating like a patient, it is impossible to be online. So there are two things. The first is this online is only sorry. If only if it was cognitive, of course, we can do that. But it's about something practical. We have to use offline, I think. It is still needed to make effective, especially for nursing. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, my turn now. Yes, we are in a very challenging times. And as a teacher, this is one episode of our teaching life that we are more challenged by this kind of pandemic. However, what I could say is to gauge our students on how they learn we must adopt the leniency type. We must be relaxed with our guidelines. That is how we do it now. Instead of saying to our student, the deadline is set by a week after for you to submit the requirements. We then tell our students, if you cannot submit and there are valid reasons for you not to submit it, like your connectivity is so slow, you don't have laptop, you lost your laptop and whatever, or phones, then we give consideration. In this time of condition, I understand that our students, let's give them the time to be more adaptable to this present situation. I understand they true would like to learn, but however, because of this situation like the connectivity and the internet, this has really something of a problem to all of us. Even us, even we, as we hold meetings, suddenly we are disrupted by the connectivity, just like our students. Maybe the thing that we can say right now as teachers is to be relaxed or with our guidelines and to be lenient also to our students. And then to gauge their capacity to learn. I know I can feel what you say, sir, but then to gauge our students on how they learn this time is through the assessment tools. The assessment tools that we will provide and the rubrics that we will come up with is the basis on how they learn. And also, in the lighter side, as teachers, maybe this is the time that we have to say hello to our students, even if it's not school time, just to let them know and feel that we're still around as teachers. So that is how I would like our students to be handled this time of crisis.
Okay, thank you, Pak Dr. Hanafi and Ibu Dr. Elvira. You are having inspiring answers. Thank you. Anyway.
Okay, thank you.
Much. Do we still have another questions? Do we still have? If none, thank you so much to all the participants, and thank you so much to all the speakers for today's webinar. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and ideas to all of us here. And now, before we end this webinar, we would like to hear some message from Ibu Lili Nurlaili.
Okay, thank you, Mbak Manet. Thanks all of the speaker, Dean of CEU, Dr. Elvira Urgel, and then Dr. Hanafi, and Pak Sawiji, M.Sc from Muhammadiyah. Terima kasih juga semua yang sudah hadir di sini. Ada Bu Indana, Pak Muhammad As'ad, Pak Jupri, Pak Bahrun Amin, Pak Yordan, Pak Sapriun, kemudian Pak Faiz, Aisyah, Pak Nur Said, Pak Anis, Nikadek,
Demi bro.
Bayu, Sri Siska Mardiana, and all of the participants.
But
today is very just only a little participant. Compare the webinar from the first day, second, third, and then the fourth day only 60 or 70 participants. I hope tomorrow the last webinar series there will be a lot of participants. When I'm making a participant webinar international 9 of July, the participant is 11,000 participants. And then this is very weakness, only 50 or 60. I don't know why. Okay, and then average every day is more than 200 until 500. That is average. I'm making webinar series. Okay, thank you very much, and I hope you have a lot of experience today. You had a lot of knowledge about the creativity for the nursing, and I hope in here not only the student but the teacher and all participants right now know to making how come the nursing is more interesting, more creative, etc. For example, in here, if compare curriculum in Philippines and Indonesia, curriculum nursing in Philippines, they just only have one curriculum because they already have national curriculum. But Indonesia, we have a different curriculum, different every university. And then the making of curriculum nursing in Philippines, they have a lot of participants from all of the rector in the university.
Terima kasih Bu Sri Tirta.
And after that, they are just sharing and then give a course and everything. And they are the same curriculum for the nursing. And not only like that, if we are compare curriculum nursing Indonesia and Philippines, Indonesia more the material, but just only a few for implementation, only a few a practicum in the field. Because in the Philippines, they are just only 2 months. They are activity in the they are teaching learning in the room, but 4 months they are implementation in the field. 2 months they are practice in the school or the university because they already have look like a hospital, and then after that 2 months they are going to the hospital. Because of that, all of hospital in here in Philippines, they are waiting the nursing from the university. Not look like in Indonesia. Some of the nursing after finish, and then if they want going to hospital, they must paying or just give money to the hospital. It's very bad like that. Maybe we must concerning how come to making the nursing look like a Philippine. And Philippine nursing is the Philippine nursing is a lot of working in around the world. 95% nursing from Philippines. Why? Because there are competencies not only when they are studying in the university, but when they are working in the hospital. For example, like this, when I'm going to the hospital in here in Philippines, from the first time I'm coming in front of desk, all of the form, not me, is filled on the form, but the nursing, the help desk. And after that, they not just only talking to me like this. You can going to the room number 10, number 10, number 8, and like that. But the nursing is together with me. They are bring to me to the room, and then they are waiting me until the nursing is coming and then give explanation. This is maybe you can help her because like that. And then this is very helpful, because if we just only talking, you can going to the room like this, and then maybe they are lost. For example, is me. I'm going to the hospital in Indonesia, not only government, but the private is very expensive. They are just only talking to me. You can going to the room and I'm waiting 1 hour. And after that, I'm asking to the nursing, I'm here waiting 1 hour, but nobody call me. Oh, you are the wrong room. Wow, that is too, I'm very sad like that. Okay, maybe for the next time, the facilities for the hospital, the government, and then the private in Indonesia look like same in Philippines. And nursing in Philippines, after they are working in the hospital, that not just only making a money, but they are still making a research. For example, when I'm coming there, they have a slip or form, and then asking, please, do you know what the facilities in here? If you don't know, you can fill on blank, but maybe you can give suggestion for me, something like that. And then I asking to the nursing, what for you are making a research? Yeah, because I'm not only making money if I'm already working in the hospital, but we must making a journal in each hospital, and we make a research in the hospital. And the nursing must making writing for the research international in field, look like I'm giving explanation like that. It is very amazing, I think. Okay, thank you very much. That's just only my experience in here, and then I hope all of the university Muhammadiyah,
Hah?
especially for the health, nursing, and everything, more
Nah,
better
terus ngomong.
after we are webinar internasional. Thank you very much. Dengan mengucapkan alhamdulillah,
Iya,
saya tutup webinar internasional hari ini.
ngatek kok.
Dan satu pesan
Lambe murah
saya,
ketok.
kalau seandainya ada
Heeh.
Universitas
Anggo
Muhammadiyah
cilmi rame.
lainnya yang mau MOU
Kayak gue
dengan
niki wae.
universitas-universitas yang ada di Filipina,
Kowe.
silakan
Kowe
hubungi
kapir apa?
saya.
Aku sing
Dan
komat.
kemudian karena
Gampang
situasi
kali jalan
kondisi pandemik yang masih belum ada pesawat ke Filipina, dan kalau ada pun juga masih protokol 2 minggu di tempat, karena hotel masih tutup. Jadi cari tempat untuk 2 minggunya itu ya, kalau bukan penduduk juga bingung gitu ya. Sementara kalau ditampung di KBRI juga tidak boleh gitu ya, karena situasinya sedang seperti ini. Jadi susah, begitu sampai harus 2 minggu. Kalau memang punya rumah sendiri ya di rumah sendiri, karena di hospital tidak ada dan hotel juga tidak boleh menerima. Oke, dan kemudian juga kalau seandainya mau MOU dengan online, bulan lalu saya MOU online. Jadi dari Poltekkes Bali membawa surat, sudah dikirim ke saya dan saya kirim ke NCCA, yaitu yang melaksanakan NCLEX, National Licensure Examination, untuk perawat yang akan kerja di seluruh dunia. Nah, kemudian kita tanda tangan secara online gitu ya. Mungkin itu bisa salah satu cara yang efektif dalam kondisi seperti ini. Baik, alhamdulillahirabbil alamin, saya tutup acara hari ini, webinar internasional. Tetapi
Salahnya endi kan
untuk
ada yang gitu.
pengurus-pengurus Muhammadiyah jangan ditutup
PGA
karena
ngano
kita
ora
akan
integrated
melanjutkan diskusi dengan Mam Elvira Urgel. If you don't mind,
Ning
Mam
ngisor.
Elvira, we are still discuss together with all of the participant, director or the counselor from Muhammadiyah. Thank you.
Oh no.
Terima kasih.
Walah.
Again, I would like to say thank you very much to all the speakers and also to all the participants
Garasi
who
baru
attended
garasi.
this webinar. And our webinar today is ended, and hopefully we can see you again tomorrow. Have a day ahead.
Sing iso. Anu kan PGA-ne tambahan. Jadi dia ke direct.
An additional reminder for
Di
our
karena outboard,
participants, we would like to
tambahan eksternal,
remind you
dia otomatis
again
menggunakan
that
eksternal.
before
Outboard
you
kan
leave this room,
direct.
kindly please copy the link that we shared. We share the link for the attendance list and also for the certificate, and also we give also the Google Drive link for the e-material. So kindly copy it if you would like to have a copy of it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Oke, mungkin Mam Elvira lagi sebentar ditutup. Kita lanjutkan di sini. Mungkin saya akan jelaskan. Nursing di sini adalah ketika tahun 2013 itu
2 jam
booming nursing. Semua universitas ada nursingnya. Karena pemerintah memberikan anggaran untuk nursing, universitas yang ada nursingnya maka dikasihkan anggaran yang cukup besar. Kalau tahun ini 2019, 2020 dia memberikan anggaran yang besar buat pariwisata. Jadi berbeda-beda. Oleh karena itu hampir semua universitas ada nursingnya, ada health-nya. Karena selain daripada juga ada M.Pd ya, sebagian besar, mohon maaf yang tidak aktif silakan ditutup dulu HP ininya, berisik gitu ya. Jadi mereka bisa bekerja di luar negeri setelah ikut ujian M.Pd. Kalau untuk negara-negara Arab Saudi ataupun Abu Dhabi dan sebagainya bisa ikut prometrik dan ahad. Sampai saat ini Indonesia baru hanya tembus ke prometrik dan ahad karena pertama memang soalnya lebih mudah dan kemudian negara Arabnya juga menerima walaupun bahasa Inggrisnya juga pas-pasan. Nah, pengalaman saya sudah berkali-kali melakukan uji coba tryout NCLEX di beberapa provinsi di Indonesia. Di tahun 2017 misalnya saya mengadakan uji coba 100 orang calon perawat ke luar negeri, artinya dia sudah lulus dan siap bekerja, tapi satu pun tidak ada yang lulus. Tahun 2018 saya coba lagi 100 orang dari universitas yang berbeda, juga tidak ada yang lulus. 2019 saya pindah lagi ke provinsi lain, juga tidak ada yang lulus. Dan kemudian 2020 ini saya juga sudah uji coba lagi NCLEX dan semua atas biaya saya juga tidak ada yang lulus. Kenapa bisa seperti itu? Pertanyaannya. Nah, pertama adalah bukan hanya karena menggunakan bahasa Inggris, tetapi karena soal yang digunakan higher order thinking skill. Jadi tidak lagi mengapa paru-paru, apa fungsi paru-paru, tidak seperti itu. Kemudian lebih banyak gambarnya di situ. Dan pilihannya adalah misalnya satu soal ada 7 jawaban. Maka dia hanya ada 3 jawaban yang benar. Kalau dia menjawab hanya 1 atau 2, maka itu akan salah. Kemudian juga obat-obatan dan buah-buahan atau nama-nama juga tidak ada di Indonesia. Contohnya misalnya, pertanyaannya begini, buah-buahan di bawah ini adalah yang dilarang untuk dimakan penyakit diabetes. Kebetulan saya sudah 30 tahun diabetes. Nah, ternyata buah-buahan yang ada di bawah ini tidak ada satupun yang ada di Indonesia. Nah, kalau seperti itu apa jadinya? Kita atau nursing yang Indonesia nggak kenal itu buah-buahannya. Makanya kalau belajar itu jangan menggunakan buku yang terjemahan, tapi langsung kepada buku aslinya. Nah, oke. Mam Elvira, you are already now?
Aku WA Evi ya.
Kemudian
Ya,
pengalaman juga
silakan,
ada
Ustaz.
beberapa.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay.
Okay, ma'am.
We're starting discuss with
Tunggu
the
aja di sini.
several
Pengen
administration or dean or
pengen ini.
rector or chancellor. They are very interesting to make a
Karena
MOU or
ini nggak ada.
want to know about the implementation. If they are workshop
Kan
using
ilmu itu
online
udah hilang.
or doctoral degree for nursing or health
Pengen gue iki,
online,
ya udah
everything.
gue
Thank
dulu
you.
biasa.
Thank you, ma'am.
Oke, Pak Yordan mungkin, Pak Bahrum, Pak Nur Said, Pak As'ad, atau siapa yang mau bertanya?
Nanti secara pakanan lagi?
Apa?
Oh, oke, sorry.
Halo.
Iya Bu, kalau dari kami sementara itu, saya nggak tahu kalau misal dari Jember atau dari KBRI. So for us, it's so clear, Dr. Elvira, since we will contact you and also international office for further cooperations that we will have in the future.
Yes.
But I don't know about others since because I just handle the association, so I will also spread out this kind of information to other colleagues from other universities.
Yes.
So it's so clear, this is very interesting information from you on the exchange program and also the virtual arrangements of the maybe faculty exchange and also student exchange. So, yeah, I will spread out this information like this.
Thank you. Thank you.
But I think I have another colleagues like Nurul Fatia from Jember. She is the head of International Relations Office of Universitas Jember. So I think she also has she arranged everything related to the international relations with other universities. Bu Nurul.
Kamu terbiasa ya?
Pak Bahrum.
Iya, Pak Yordan.
Iya.
Terima kasih.
Bu Nurul.
Iya.
Bu Nurul. Oh iya, monggo.
Oh iya ya. Iya. Terima kasih Ibu Lili Nurlaili and then Madam Elvira. Thank you so much for today.
Good
This is our
Mana wajibnya, Cat?
Oh ya, sebentar Ibu.
Hi.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Madam Elvira. Yeah, allow me to introduce myself first. I am Nurul, Director Office of International Affairs and Public Relations in University of Muhammadiyah Jember. And then our speakers, Dr. Hanafi is my rector. Your university and my university has already signed a memorandum of understanding in 2018, but we haven't the implementation until now. So from this our meeting, I will make a purpose for the implementation in nursing faculty. Maybe I will make a coordination with our dean in Faculty of Nursing, so we can make many activities in our memorandum of understanding.
Okay. Maybe I would suggest that before we move on to the memorandum of agreement, because we already have our MOU, then please, we'll have to maybe send me what you really would like to come up with as a collaboration, whether it is through student, whether it is through faculty or research or degree, whatever that you really would want. Because in the student exchange, this can be in the form of activities or in the form of community immersion, while we also speak of your students enrolling to our courses in nursing, but then we really have to study the curriculum. You have to take note of our curriculum, and
Okay.
then we also look into your curriculum so that because you are the one who will give credit to this, you will credit what they will take with us. So that's
Okay.
how we will have to plan. That's how we will have to check whether the the ones that you would like your students to gain would be beneficial on their part.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Elvira.
Yes, yes.
Ya, maybe I just talk like this. Jadi bapak-bapak di sini sebagai para pemangku kepentingan atau tindak lanjut dari MOU yang sudah dibuat. Kalau memang belum buat MOU dengan Elvira Urgel, silakan buat segera karena pengalaman saya begitu saya kirim ke EU tidak sampai sebulan langsung sudah ditandatangan dan kemudian langsung saya kirim lagi ke Indonesia gitu ya. Dan kemudian banyak sekali universitas yang tidak melalui saya tapi dititip ke saya. Nah, kalau seandainya dia tidak melalui Atdikbud, maka konsekuensinya adalah tidak dapat fasilitas dari Atdikbud. Apa saja fasilitas Atdikbud? Tidak banyak-banyak, minimal dijemput di bandara untuk dibawa ke CU atau kemudian kalau penginapan diantar sampai ke penginapan gitu ya. Dan kemudian biaya hidup di Filipina adalah sama dengan di Indonesia. Jadi kalau kita makan 25.000 sudah dapat nasi dan ayam gitu ya. Dan kemudian penginapan di Filipina yang dekat dengan CU, pengalaman dari mahasiswa yang dapat scholarship, dia bisa misalnya hanya 1 juta bisa berdua orang 1 bulan dan itu sudah ada fasilitas, ada tidak ada dapur, jadi harus beli di luar. Kemudian ya sama lah kayak kos-kosan di daerah bapak-bapak ya, 1 juta bisa berdua jadi 500 ribuan seorang. Nah itu bisa untuk berapa lama mereka akan tinggal di sana. Dan di sini juga ada hotel yang seperti di Indonesia, jadi masuk ke dalam tabung gitu ya.
12
Dan itu murah lagi, cuma bisa 500 ribuan, tetapi kamar mandi rame-rame gitu ya. Kalau yang 1 juta kamar mandi di dalam. Dan untuk transport bisa menggunakan jeepney. Jeepney itu murah seperti kayak busway, 3.500 gitu ya. 3.500 jauh dekat sama gitu ya. Kemudian apalagi fasilitas lainnya mungkin nanti bisa chattingan dengan saya apa saja yang murah dan bagaimana bisa kita lanjutkan. Maybe want to make clear the conversation, not only MOU, we want to making a MOA. And then the field is making a research. What kind of research? Not only nursing maybe. You can give explanation or dari Muhammadiyah mau buat research, join researchnya seperti apa? Nanti bisa saya fasilitasi. Kemudian mungkin mengambil kredit transfer. Nah, kredit transfer berapa bayarnya? Karena saya sudah sering nego harga dengan CEU dan CEU biasanya langsung terima saja. Contohnya misalnya workshop yang diadakan oleh Elvira Urgel, harganya misalnya satu workshop itu dengan peserta 150 itu adalah per orang bisa 1 juta sampai 2 juta. Nah ini bisa di-reduce lagi harganya. Kalau kita memang sudah baik dengan mereka, mereka juga akan dengan senang hati memberikan diskon-diskon. Apalagi Mam Elvira ini sudah saya pernah ajak untuk menjadi pembicara di Bali ya, Mam Elvira ya. We are going to seminar international at the Poltekkes Bali ya. Oke. Kemudian mungkin kita mengadakan workshop mau yang online atau yang offline. Kalau yang offline mungkin tahun depan karena perkuliahan di Filipina ini akan ditutup di bulan Desember tanggal 20. Dibukanya mungkin hanya sedikit-sedikit itu di bulan awal September. How about your university, Miss Dok Elvira? When your university is open? Please unmute your voice.
The programs, ma'am, that we have right now with face-to-face, that would be by December itself, would be dentistry and nursing. All the rest are online. So maybe by that time, as I had mentioned, we arrange our scheduling by blocking. So first 5 weeks, second 5 weeks, third and fourth block. On the fourth block itself, it is where we place all nursing RLE or the skills would be it will be conducted in the nursing arts laboratory. If the government already permits us to move around, then we will certainly have our delivery of our teaching in the nursing arts lab, but no clinical side yet. We will all do that in the fourth block, so meaning to say that would be sometime November and December.
Bali. Ya wes.
Jadi untuk sampai untuk
Buat Diosi ya, Bro ya? Diosi ya?
kampus tetap
Diosi
tutup
ya?
sampai nanti Desember. Jadi mungkin
Indonesia dan
kalau
di Bali
mau
ya,
datang
Indonesia itu Bali.
Januari. Tapi mohon maaf Januari saya sudah balik ke Indonesia karena ini adalah tugas saya terakhir.
Iya kan gue apa ya,
setengah di
berita
sini. Jadi Desember saya
malah
sudah balik ke
ngerti-ngerti
Indonesia, nanti Januari akan ada
ngerti aku
yang baru. Tapi saya akan titip semua MOU yang sudah dilakukan dari 2017 sampai sekarang ada sekitar 500-an MOU yang sudah ditandatangani dari berbagai universitas dan itu sebagian besar sudah saya gunakan untuk implementasi. Minimal melakukan research di Filipina seperti yang dilakukan oleh ADRI, Asosiasi Dosen Republik Indonesia. Mereka hanya beli tiket, kemudian semua saya fasilitasi di sini selama 4 hari. Dan kemudian kegiatan-kegiatan lainnya nanti bisa saya sampaikan kepada Atdikbud yang baru karena insya Allah sekretaris saya Mbak Manet ini sudah hampir 8 tahun menjadi sekretaris di Atas Pendidikan, jadi sudah berganti-ganti Atdikbud yang menjadi pimpinan beliau dan beliau ini aktif dengan 3 bahasa Indonesia, bahasa Tagalog dan bahasa Inggris. Jadi jangan ragu-ragu menggunakan bahasa Indonesia. Bahasa Indonesia-nya lebih bagus daripada kita malahan. Oke, thanks you. Maybe kalau tidak ada tambahan lainnya, kita tutup acara ini dan kemudian saya menunggu follow up-nya. Apakah akan membuat MOA, ataukah proposal, ataukah sudah ada penelitian?
Yes.
And then mungkin membutuhkan bagaimana untuk membaca ataupun merevisi dari hasil penelitian dan kemudian masuk ke dalam jurnal internasional yang ada di CEU. Jadi di sini hampir semua universitas ada jurnal internasional. Oke, terima kasih Ibu dan Bapak. Saya tutup kembali and then di Filipina sudah hampir jam 1, Bu Elvira mau makan siang gitu ya. Dan kita juga sudah siang di Jakarta sudah jam 12. Terima kasih sekali lagi atas partisipasinya. Sampai saya menunggu informasi berikutnya niat yang akan dilaksanakan oleh Muhammadiyah. Saya cerita sedikit, Muhammadiyah, ibu bapak saya, kakek nenek saya Muhammadiyah. Dan saya juga dulu sempat mengajar di Muhammadiyah dan juga saya mengajar yatim piatu Muhammadiyah di Jakarta Barat sampai sekarang saya menjadi pembina di Muhammadiyah di Jakarta Barat. Kemudian juga Bapak Ketua PP Muhammadiyah itu yang sekarang adalah keponakan saya, jadi keponakan suami saya gitu ya, Pak Haidar Nasir. Baik, terima kasih. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terima kasih Bu Lili, luar biasa.
Terima kasih Bu Lili. Terima kasih Bu Lili. Thank you Bu Lili.
Sampai ketemu
Thank
lagi.
you Madam Elvira.
Ya, thank you.
Elvira.
Thank you Dr. Elvira.
Thank you.
terus Mel.
Dia malah dikasih gudeg pesean, besoknya
Ini Pak.
Manet.
Pak.
Manet, I have to go.
Yes, Dean. Thank you so much.
Okay. Manet, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dean. Terima kasih
Yeah,
Bapak dan
thank you,
Ibu
Pak.
semuanya. And have a nice day ahead. Bye-bye.
Pak,
Kepak iramanya di dada